Welcome to my channel Forgotten Indian King Vertical Bar, Unsung Protectors of Tamil Nadu. Vertical Bar, the Nayaka kings who resisted the Mughals. In the heart of southern India, nestled among the rivers and hills of Tamil Nadu, three major Nayaka kingdoms, Madurai, Tanjore and Gingee, stood as bastions of independence and cultural splendor during a time of great upheaval in the Indian subcontinent. Emerging from the decline of the Vijayanagara Empire, in the late 16th century, these Nayaka rulers became regional powers. Even as the Mughal Empire stretched its shadow from Delhi to the Deccan, these southern Nayaka kingdoms remained semi-independent, acting as resilient fortresses against imperial domination and preserving Tamil heritage and autonomy. This is the 5,000-word legacy of these lesser-known protectors of southern India. Rulers who held the line against the tides of Mughal interference and left behind a legacy rich in art, architecture, military strategy, and civil administration. Chapter 1. The Birth of the Nayaka Kingdoms. Legacy of the Vijayanagara Empire. After the fall of the Vijayanagara Empire at the Battle of Talikota in 1565, power in the southern peninsula began to fragment. The empire, once a formidable force in South India, collapsed into smaller feudal territories known as Nayaka kingdoms. These were military chieftains or governors who had once served the Vijayanagara emperors but now asserted independence. The most prominent Nayaka states that emerged were Madurai Nayakas, founded by Viswanatha Nayaka in the late 16th century; Tanjore Nayakas, with their capital in the fertile Kaveri Delta; Gingee Nayakas, whose strategic fort controlled the eastern gateway into Tamil Nadu. Each of these regions evolved its own administration, military and cultural identity, while maintaining a loose allegiance to the fading shadow of Vijayanagara. Chapter 2. The Madurai Nayakas. Founding and rule Viswanatha Nayaka, a general under Vijayanagara ruler Krishnadevaraya, was appointed the governor of Madurai. But by 1559, he had carved out an independent kingdom. His successors, particularly Tirumala Nayaka, 1623-1659, expanded and consolidated the Madurai kingdom. Military strength and Mughal resistance. The Madurai Nayakas maintained a formidable military presence. With the Mughals beginning to influence the Deccan under Aurangzeb, Madurai prepared its defenses. Despite pressure from northern allies of the Mughals and Islamic sultanates, the Madurai Nayakas retained autonomy through clever diplomacy and an imposing military that included war elephants, fortified hill towns, and an elite cavalry. Cultural flourishing. Tirumala Nayaka's reign is particularly noted for a revival of Tamil literature, Dravidian architecture, and temple construction. The Meenakshi temple in Madurai was expanded and embellished under his rule. Chapter 3. The Tanjore Nayakas rise to power. The Tanjore Nayakas came to prominence under Sivappa Nayaka, who declared independence around the same time as Viswanatha in Madurai. Tanjore, located in the lush Kaveri Delta, was not only agriculturally rich, but also a hub of religion and culture, resistance and statecraft. While the Tanjore Nayakas often found themselves between rivalries, against the Madurai rulers, the Bijapur Sultanate, and the Marathas, they successfully maintained independence. They resisted the Mughal-aligned sultanates through a combination of alliances and military campaigns. Patronage of arts. Tanjore became a center for Carnatic music, Telugu and Tamil literature, and Bharatanatyam dance. The Nayakas here supported temple building and the preservation of Chola-era structures. Chapter 4. The Gingee Nayakas, the strategic fort, Gingee Senji. Fort was one of the most impenetrable fortresses in India. Built on 3 hills and surrounded by massive walls and granaries, it was deemed the Troy of the East by European travelers. Bulwark against Mughal expansion. During the Mughal push southward, Gingee Fort became a refuge for Maratha resistance leaders like Rajaram, son of Shivaji, during the late 17th century. The Nayakas of Gingee provided logistical and military support against Mughal campaigns led by Aurangzeb's generals, which drew the empire into a prolonged and costly southern war. Chapter 5. Relations with foreign powers. The European presence. As European powers like the Portuguese, Dutch, French, and English began establishing footholds in India, the Nayaka rulers maintained a balanced foreign policy. They permitted trade in return for arms and military training, but kept foreign influence at bay. The Gingee Nayakas, in particular, played French and British powers against each other for decades, maintaining their autonomy. Chapter 6. Religious and Social Policies. The Nayakas were known for religious tolerance, supporting both Shaiva and Vaishnava traditions, as well as Jain and Buddhist communities. They instituted temple endowments, expanded irrigation systems, and promoted granary and water management systems that sustained large populations. Socially, they encouraged the revival of Tamil identity, ensured support for local crafts, and institutionalized festivals and fairs that continue to this day. Chapter 7. Decline and legacy pressure from Marathas and British. By the 18th century, the rise of the Marathas and increasing British East India Company influence weakened the Nayaka states. The Tanjore Nayakas were replaced by Maratha rulers around 1674. Madurai fell into internal strife and was eventually absorbed into British holdings. Gingee's last stand. Gingee Fort resisted the Mughals for decades but eventually fell after a long siege. However, it remained a symbol of Tamil pride and resistance, enduring legacy. The Nayaka kings, though overshadowed by larger empires, left behind a distinct Dravidian legacy. Their reigns marked a period of autonomous Tamil governance, local cultural renaissance, and an effective check against imperial domination. Their temples, fortresses, and patronage of the arts laid the groundwork for the Tamil cultural revival in the colonial and modern era. Conclusion. The Forgotten Guardians. The Nayaka kings of Madurai, Tanjore, and Gingee deserve recognition as the guardians of Tamil Nadu's political and cultural independence. They were warriors, poets, patrons, and above all, defenders of their land and people in a time of great turmoil. Their resistance against Mughal expansion, strategic use of geography, support of local culture, and embrace of administrative innovation make them shining examples of regional strength in the face of imperial ambition. It is time their stories join the pantheon of India's greatest defenders, not just as regional rulers, but as symbols of resilience, pride, and unyielding spirit. Thank you for listening.